Hi guys, welcome to Sideshow Live. I am Autumn, I head up the social media, and I am here with a couple of guests here. Who do we have with us today?
Go on, Will.
Will Harbottle, sculptor at Sideshow.
Nice.
Sculpt lead, senior sculptor.
Sculpster.
You have like 4 titles, and we gotta figure that out. Still,
None of them.
Yeah.
Sculptmaster.
And I'm David Igo. I art direct a lot of the licensed stuff, and I work with Will almost
A
every
lot,
day.
yeah.
Like too much.
Yeah.
I don't know.
No, not too much.
It's a good
Gonna
relationship.
work with them a lot today.
It's healthy. Yeah.
It's healthy. It's a good amount of relationship. Right? Is that what you'd say?
We have got, yes.
This is Sideshow and Tell.
What did I say, Sideshow Live?
Yes.
Let's start.
I didn't wanna say
now,
anything.
That was the
Edit that part
practice.
out, yeah.
Let's
We're off to a
practice.
great
so
start.
now when we go live, I'll make sure I get it right.
And why is
Jeff and I
Will
don't
holding
expect that, but we don't
C-3PO?
want to bother you.
Since when do you and Jeff not want to bother me?
After we were told not to.
Oh, please. Like that
After
never
we
works.
were both
Berated.
Whoa!
bullied by
They are
Autumn.
full of sass over there in the peanut gallery. Sideshow and Tell, thank you very much. Sorry about
Which
that.
is live. That's
Which
why
is
it's
live.
confusing.
Sideshow and Tell live.
It's live-ish. You said
Yes.
it's a 10-second delay.
We've got a whole bunch of people saying hello, hello, hello. Vital says, I want to see the Mysterio hot toys.
Yeah, that'd
That
be
would
cool.
Be cool.
Yeah.
That would be cool. Okay, question already from Jason for Will. How did you get into sculpting?
It was a total accident. I was a glass blower in a building, and down the hall were people who made prototypes of toys. And
In New York, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, New Jersey, but right on
Same
the river.
thing,
Yeah.
right? Yeah.
And I started hanging out with them and started working with them, and just one thing led to another.
Follow-up question. How'd
Yeah.
you get into glass
That was
blowing?
my follow-up question. That's incredible. That's awesome.
Technically, it's still sculpting, right? You're just using like your
Different
mouth
medium.
wind.
Mouth wind.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's no longer breath. It's like your wind,
How
right?
is, what are you doing? How's it going
Blowing
again?
hot air into hot glass to glass sculpt, right? Glass blowing.
That's not hot air.
That's
It's just your.
This your
yeah, your breath. It's hot though. It's not.
That's not
All right, whatever, man.
It's hot enough to melt
I mean,
glass.
you're the glass blower expert. You tell me.
the mediumly short version of the story was graduated with a degree in creative writing.
Okay.
Went off to write my novel. Couldn't make any money, so said I need to make money for myself. So I became a potter, self-taught potter, and I did that for about 5 or 6 years, and was just barely able to.
I was gonna say you're
Feed
able to
myself.
make a living at it.
Not super
I just
well.
like how your first instinct for I need to make money. I'm gonna become a potter, not like any other 9-to-5
Where the
job.
big
But that's
bucks
where you're
are.
like,
I tried working
you know
for
what's
other
hot
people.
right now? Pottery.
I tried
He's
working.
gonna run
Been
to
around forever.
the fast-moving industry.
Well, the options were limited. Let's put it this way, because
Okay.
I had moved to Ithaca with my wife because it was her idea to go to graduate school at Cornell before she got accepted.
Okay.
So
she
we
was
moved
gonna
to-
go there.
Yeah,
Not accepted yet.
right. So
Okay.
we go to Cornell. We go to Ithaca, where Cornell is, and we both looked for jobs for weeks and weeks and couldn't get anything. I got turned down to sell movie tickets at a movie theater. Because I was overqualified. So
They said, "Oh,
I
we
was
see
like,
that you're good at making pottery,
"Ooh."
so
No,
you
no.
should be doing that."
Anyway, it came out of necessity. We needed
Wow.
to feed ourselves. So
Did an
yeah.
opportunity come up, like somebody was looking?
No.
Had you taken pottery classes before?
No.
So it was pottery,
is
then glass
fascinating.
blowing, then you met toy people?
No, you
Yeah.
skipped a huge step though. Screenwriter
Yeah. Well.
to pottery.
No, not writing.
I mean,
right?
not sorry,
Like,
not
right,
screenwriting,
yeah,
but
right,
you
right,
were
yeah.
you had
Yeah.
a creative
Working
writing.
on. Yeah. Exactly right.
Okay.
But so there's.
To pottery.
Yeah. But I was still
Fascinating.
writing. I just needed to be
You
able.
needed a-
Yeah. I needed a job to pay the
Interesting.
bills.
So pottery.
And then
no, this
and
is
then
awesome.
glass-
You're out in the middle of nowhere. I mean, Ithaca, one of my
Yeah.
favorite places in the world. It's gorgeous, awesome, great place to hang out. But the job opportunities for me were very limited, and we're crafty, you know. I mean, like I was crafty, and so we just had. So we would go to like craft shows on the weekends and sell our stuff.
As soon as you said you're so crafty, I just went to that. What's that? I'm so fancy. You know, I'm so
go.
crafty.
I'm
My name's Will
in.
Bottle.
I'd gone to art school before that. I went to Parsons
Okay.
School of Design, so
So you had some art
my idea
skills.
was that I was going to be a painter,
Okay.
And then I got interested in writing.
And you met
super-
Kat, who's a
Super-
way better painter. So you got super depressed and went into pottery.
This
Is that what happened?
Now we're getting to the awkward part of the conversation. This was my first wife.
Oh. Let's talk about
That never happens. What are you talking
There
about?
are some really cool questions in here.
Oh, wow,
First, I
okay.
start with the comment.
Yeah.
Because you have a beard, that makes you a Harry Potter.
Oh,
Nice.
just
You get it?
He's like, what?
click, 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 ding.
Joe.
You had this blank look on your face.
There are questions about this
can't
novel.
think of one.
What was it about? Did it get published? Did you finish it? What genre was it in? Questions.
Fan fiction.
No, 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 and no. It was. I spent 10 years on it. Never got finished or published, which is why I'm not doing it anymore. Genre. My hero, my writing hero, was a man named Thomas Pynchon, who still writes. He's still a fabulous author. It's very. His style is very postmodern. It's very a mix of all genres, and that was sort of what I was aiming for. Something, but it became this black hole that sucked in all the rest of my life and the novel just kept getting bigger and bigger and bigger, and so I was that person who would be out all the time with my notepad, and so
Okay.
taking notes of.
Just working.
If you said
all the
something
time.
interesting, I'd be writing that down.
That's going in
So
there.
what kind of
That's going in the book.
when
yeah,
you're
exactly.
typing on your laptop in the coffee shop? What kind of
This
coffee?
is like
did
almost
you-
before laptops. This is a million
No,
years
I know
ago.
it was. That's why I'm joking.
I
Is
did
it
have
more
a
of
laptop,
a-
though. I had a laptop in 1986.
No, he'd bring out his huge typewriter, plug it in.
Yeah.
I actually wrote longhand a lot. I found it easier to write longhand. So
All right.
double space.
What was your
single-sided.
coffee though while you were writing it? Were you like a frappe lappuccino guy or whatever? I don't know. What kind of fancy drink did you drink?
I like strong
Frappe,
coffees.
Lappuccino.
Lappuccino's a
That's
thing.
his favorite.
Like black strong coffee.
I see.
I like espresso. Yeah, that was-
Espresso.
yeah.
There are many questions for Will. What?
He's never been on, so they've been waiting
What
forever.
type- what
They've been
type
building
of-
these up.
They see weakness.
Strike!
Get
He's
him,
playing with
guys.
toys. He
blood in
looks
the water.
nervous. Yeah.
Jason wants to know what type of toy prototypes did you work on in Jersey?
Okay. So we did a bunch of wrestling things. Oh, we did a whole series of toys directly for Toys R Us. They did a line of very memorable E.T. toys. So we did.
So they were produced. Like we can go on eBay and find this Toys R
Yeah,
Us ET
yeah,
figure and.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Oh man, original.
When I
Little
say
Hard bottle.
yeah, they were very obscure. That was meant to be a joke, but they exist out there. Yeah. A little mild articulation, but from there,
Like
is it
swivel arms
action
and swivel
figure
head?
scale, like the little.
these were little. Yeah.
Okay.
But from there, I came out to California with some sidetracks in between, and worked on the Street Fighter figures, the
Oh,
Street Fighter
okay.
action figures. That was kind of Kat and my.
What was it?
One of our
Soda?
breaks.
Right?
So-
Soda, yeah.
I wasn't sure if we were allowed to say that. So,
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're allowed to talk about your
It's
past
produced and-
girlfriends and wives and companies you work
Yeah.
for.
Yeah.
So that was a lot of fun. We had
Nice.
met some people that are still dear friends of mine that we still work with. I mean, Aaron worked with us,
Yeah.
who's a sculptor here now, and that was a lot of fun. It was wacky times.
I remember, so we first met when we were both at Jungle Giant together. I just started my 13th year in California, I think last week or something like that. Actually, no, this week. Whatever. So I've known Will for 13 years since like day one, met him at, our previous job. I remember back then he was a hardcore action figure guy.
Yeah.
Hated
Collector?
statues. He's like,
Yeah.
you can't.
No.
Okay.
Oh,
Sculptor,
collector
Sculptor.
and sculptor. You
Okay.
collect, dude. His
Yeah,
shelf
no,
was
yeah.
full
Yeah.
of like tons of stuff. Like I just remember, like it was.
I tend to really get into what I'm working on. So when I was working on,
Okay.
I mean, Street Fighter, I had every book, watched all the the
Interesting.
cartoons and all that kind of stuff. Got really into it. Yeah. So
Is it because you wanted to know about it, or because it became your personal interest while you were working on it?
both.
Both.
Did you
Yeah.
play the game? Any of the games?
Yeah.
Who's
And
your character? Who
I
are
was never very good at those kind of games. Skill games, I'm not so great at. Like we like Zelda and stuff like that, where it's not quite so much hand-eye coordination and dexterity. And
There totally is.
not as much.
Well, who's your guy or girl? You seem like an E-Honda guy. Slow.
I like them all. I mean, like, Sakura was always that she was fun. That's the one with the little
Yeah,
sneakers.
yeah.
I like them all. Yeah.
That's cool, man.
Nice. The question was, did you ever think about creating a comic book hero? JJ wants to know.
If I, you mean in?
I think he says,
in
do you
terms of
ever
my writing
sit and
and stuff
think
like that?
about like creating a comic book hero? Yeah, maybe.
Yeah. If I had my life to do over again, I would have taken that 10 years that was a bit of a sidetrack, and I would have combined the things that I love and worked on a graphic novel.
Do you
or
think
something
that
like
10 years that was a sidetrack though contributed to what you do now?
I suppose because I found my way here
Yeah.
through that path.
I think those
But-
winding roads are really interesting, and you end up using a lot more of it than you think you will.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Again, but with hindsight, I could have gotten to where I needed to be and ended up being more if I had
Sooner?
Yeah, if
Yeah.
I had combined the loves.
Maybe, but then you might have been stuck at another company you were
Could be.
happy with and never ended up
You
at
wouldn't.
Sideshow.
Yeah, you'd be happy there, not here with
Yeah,
us.
God, lame.
The question that also came up for you is, what's the favorite piece that you have worked on here at Sideshow?
Ooh.
No
I am
pressure.
so lucky to have worked on multiple dream projects, but recently has been the Martian Princess. That was a great love of mine. Something that I was really enjoyed working on and had hoped to be able to.
Because
Work
you
on
and I have
for
been
a long
talking about that for a few years,
Yeah.
and then there's an opportunity finally came up where we're looking for more public domain kind of stuff we could put our own stamp on, and that was one where I had no idea how big of a fan you were of those
Yeah.
old novels.
That I saw Star Wars in the theater, when it came out that summer, and then there was a 3-year wait for anything that was like that.
Right.
And so I would have been 11 years old, went on a search for what's more space opera-ish
Yeah.
sorts of things, and
Yeah.
found those books and read
That's so
all
cool.
11 or 13 or whatever there was. And
I just remember like a lot of sculptors we work with too kind of have like their lane they stay in. Like A, it's a passion for them. B, it's like what they're best at. So that's you stick with what you're best at, what you love, and whatever. I remember the first 3 projects you did. You did Red Sonja, which is like
Batman was first.
Batman was first. You did a movie project first. Then you did Red Sonja, which is like a hot chick. Then you did Voltron,
Yeah.
which is a robot. And I was like,
That was cool.
you never have you have like
You
the
don't-
robot guy usually. You have the hot chick sculptor, and then you have like the movie likeness people or whatever. And you create that like 3 totally different.
It's a weird thing. I thought about this, that like I sometimes am afraid that I'm not the best at any of those things, but I'm adequate at all those things.
You're so
And that-
humble.
but that's- that
Look at
kinda-
you.
Like it would be nice to have a lane that that I. But anyway, so that is the way it is. I can do.
Was
a
your
lot
first
of things
superhero dude here? Was it Juggernaut, or was there one before that? I can't remember.
No.
I think it was Juggernaut, wasn't it?
First, no.
I think
Batman.
no. Well,
That's movie. Yeah.
that's movie. I'm talking like
Um,
like when we think of like Martine and Daniel Bell.
Yeah.
You like superheroes. Like was
Deadpool.
Oh, Deadpool was.
That was
yeah.
shortly thereafter.
Yeah, yeah.
And then Lady Deadpool,
Yeah.
and Wonder Woman, and Magneto, and those are all superheroes, dude.
Oh yeah, I forgot about Magneto. Well, not. I mean, male. Magneto. I forgot about Magneto too.
There are
Man,
questions
you've
about.
done a lot.
Gambit.
Jeez. I knew Gambit, but that came.
Rename everything that you've done here in order. Go.
No.
Yeah. It'd be quite amazing to like see a shot of you with like all the stuff you've done here in
Just
the year and a half you've been here. Right?
We could have just stacked them all up on the desk so that you could just barely see
that
us
could have been our
behind it.
table. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think Juggernaut
been
would pretty much
awesome.
have eclipsed
Yeah.
us all.
That's basically it. There are questions. Where is the dog? Is the dog here today?
She's
Oh,
on
yeah.
her she's on
She's
her landing
been-
pad.
she's-
I don't
a
know if
good
there's
dog.
room like in the shot for her
Yeah,
to.
come here.
Yeah, she could.
Come up
really
here.
Quick.
Get him on. Come up.
They want to see her.
Yeah.
Oh my.
She's
so.
like,
She's like.
you seem like you would be. I think
Yeah,
think
she's
that's the wrong
around
She's not
the
way.
front of
into
the
it.
table.
She's like, hi, I'm not here to perform
Tori's gonna.
for you guys.
These are gonna fall on her, and it's gonna
Oh,
destroy her life.
You
Now
see
she's
Oh,
over
I
there.
said she's blessing me with her love. And she's gone.
You're
It
accepted.
was magical while it half lasted.
Good
though.
girl.
Doesn't Dave strikes me as someone whose dog would be like a
Spaz.
spaz, like a
Yeah.
crotch hound, like dude,
She's
Like a Boston
so-
Terrier.
Oh my God, driving
yeah,
me nuts.
get it away.
She's
Yeah.
so mellow.
undisciplined, but no, you have the most
Undisciplined.
like sweetest, most disciplined dog in the world.
I take full credit for.
Yeah.
I did not come in when she was already 6 years old and trained by my now girlfriend Kelly for those first 6 years.
There
so
you go.
I
Okay.
came into a.
But you haven't ruined that.
I have not. Well, I've ruined it for Kelly because now she loves me more than Kelly. That's what happens though when like someone new in a relationship comes in with a pet, then that pet now loves the new person. From every case study I've studied, or whatever.
My dog.
Done a
is
lot of studying.
Unique.
I'm with
and
Cassie with
interesting.
Templeton, her little corgi. Loves Sean more than her now.
Yeah.
That's what happens, man.
My dog is disabled and mentally a little disabled there as well.
I'm sorry.
She was. It's a Weimaraner, and he's a purebred, and he's a victim of
They're the-
some backyard breeders that were overbreeding their
Ugh,
dogs. So he
lame.
was born with something called hoppers, which means his whole spine is zigzag.
Oh, wow.
And he's a little bit mentally. He's kind of like always a toddler. Basically, he's not.
Well, that's awesome that you took care of him though.
Yeah,
and
he's a
took him
good
in.
boy.
Yeah.
He's just, but he's crooked. But he runs. He's just
And,
bent.
and not mean-spirited. So.
Not at all. He's
Oh, there
very
you
go.
sweet.
Oh,
He's
there you go.
just.
Weimaraners are awesome.
He's just okay. We have a tortoise that lives outside. Okay.
a
Really?
big one.
Did you tell Kat this?
No, I didn't tell her.
Oh my
Did
gosh,
she not
she's a
come to our house?
crazy
Well,
freak
we
for
have
turtles.
two desert tortoises. One who's about
In a good way.
5 years old. That's probably about this big, and then one that's a little tiny baby that lives in the house.
So sweet.
So they have a section of the yard that's gated off, and then we have a section where you go out to take the dogs to go out and do their business. So every day, for 3 years now, he is freaked out at the door 100% of the time because that tortoise might be there. So he's jumping around and psychotic, and you open the door and he bolts over, and maybe he's there, maybe he's not. But let's say he's there. He's literally just standing there. Nothing's actually going to happen. So what is your deal?
They're pals.
Yeah, so, and he's just,
that's
he will just
super
bark
sweet.
and bark and bark at it, and like, that's the kind of dog I have. Like, he just doesn't learn. We snake train our dogs because we live on a ranch where there's rattlesnake. He can't be snake trained. Snake trained is you take these other snakes, they're king snakes, that and mimic the sound of rattlesnakes, and they will bite, but they don't have any venom. So you snake train your dogs by when you find one, you take your dog to that.
He just
they
keeps
hear
getting
the
bit
rattle.
over and over and
Yeah,
over
they
again.
rattle and they raise up, and dogs will learn. Oh, stay away from this.
Right,
and if they
right.
really are slow learners, they'll get bit and then learn. Okay,
Right.
this dog will lay down next to it and like sniff at it, and he will not. The rest of the dogs have learned. Yes, he'll just keep getting bit. So
Chomp, chomp,
that's,
chomp, chomp, chomp.
that is what I mean by my dog is just special
Oh, okay.
in the head as well as being physically special. So I don't know what that says about me, but
Oh, that's sweet.
yeah,
Oh.
that's my special dog. Yeah. Okay. Will and I go. Here's a question from the audience. What was the one piece you ended up reworking the most until you're happy with it? Like you just kept going back to it
Oof.
that you can
I
talk
have-
about.
I mean, I don't know. There's like, as an artist or whatever, it's hard where you're ever 1,000% satisfied because there's always things when you look at after the fact with fresh eyes, or you're like, oh, we've done this different, we've done that
That's
different.
the follow-up
So
question.
there's still
is
like,
there one that you would go back to now?
oh, there's, lots. I mean, just it's always like, but that's because you can be picky and there's things that just stick out to you. But at the same time, like the hardest part about being a commercial artist is knowing when to say we're done. And a lot of times we have the awesome support of the other side of like scheduling that's like, no, you're done.
You're
We're like,
done.
"Oh, but Dad, I want to, and they're like, no.
I think as an artist, you're never done. I don't think you ever feel like this is perfect just the way it is and I'm finished.
Thanos started long before I was even here. With
Yeah, I wouldn't count that
designs-
though, because there's things that go through like generational redo.
Yeah.
Like we started
But there was a
Thanos a long time
lot
ago.
of work that went into that.
Yeah,
I mean,
Martine did a lot of
crazy.
work back when he was going to do the project, but it kept getting moved out. I forgot why we kept moving it out.
Yeah,
And
and
then
then
it was
but
like, it's not time, it's not
tons
time,
of-
it's not time. And then when it was time to do one, Martine had other projects. He had a lot of good feedback for when you were working on it.
Yeah.
And
Oh, yeah, I did that one by the way.
Thanos?
Yeah.
It was, I forgot, what was that? Did okay. Yes. But yeah, I would say one that we actively went back and redid some work on was Magneto.
Yeah.
I mean, it went to Comic-Con 2 years ago.
Oh, and then
We
you worked on
weren't
it
totally
after
happy with it. We heard some feedback too that we agreed with, and that's why we're like, hey,
From
there's some
fans
stuff here
and collectors.
Oh, sure.
from
yeah.
even staff that first
Yeah.
when they
Oh,
saw
okay.
it, too. Because a lot of times, you work on something, you're so like forced through the trees, and you're so like at it. And then sometimes Comic-Con's the first. Comic-Con sometimes is the first time I see some stuff we work on because I'm not involved in everything.
Everybody's,
And you're just like, whoa, what is that? Like it's crazy. And a lot of times it's
There's-
great, and sometimes you're just like, oh,
There's
God.
so much to consider as well. I mean, not to get too deep into it, but I mean, I never realized how much box size
Is
we
it-
have to think about.
Yeah.
I mean, before I got here, it never would have occurred to me. But if you get bigger than a certain size,
Then you've
And
got
parts
shipping
have to
issues.
come off and be packaged.
Right.
yeah, people,
Yeah,
oh,
yeah.
they just put them. Each one has to have a certain amount of space in between. So this is stuff
Yeah.
that people have to be thinking about really early on. I remember with Thanos his base was bigger. Remember that?
Oh yeah,
it was-
it started
and we
bigger,
had-
the chair was bigger.
And that
yeah.
we were very
Oh,
concerned that
right,
it
on
would
the
that
throne.
it would go
Yeah.
that it would go into 2 boxes.
That's, yeah.
Right.
The cost difference, same exact sculpt, just a little bit extra base.
Yeah.
The cost difference between 1 box and 2, we couldn't justify.
Wow.
We just couldn't bring ourselves to pass on to the customer. There's no way we could do this. We have to make the
So
base
you
smaller.
have to change the design based on that.
Right. And sometimes you can't. I mean, it just, the piece requires what it requires.
Yeah.
But when we can. So anyway, there's a lot of... And Magneto was a case where we were trying to thread a lot of needles on that one. And I think that we missed a few by looking too closely at it. And so we were able to correct a lot of it when we revisited it after Comic-Con, which I was really
Nice.
proud of how we improved it and how it ended up.
JJ Joe asks, is there something you couldn't do years ago because the tech wasn't there that you can do today?
Everything.
Hmm.
I mean, really,
No,
it's
tech-
changed
Will's-
completely.
Yeah, Will's definitely like one of the guys here on the forefront of like everything new coming out. Like if a new printer comes
Yeah.
out, new ZBrush update. Been yelling at Pixelogic to be a beta tester for them too. But whenever something new, like even you've been using a lot of Marvelous Designer now, which is
Yeah.
a great
Oh,
cheat
man.
tool. Cheater.
Cheating.
It's a supportive tool.
Yeah.
That.
Which is basically a way to do simulated cloth. So you could
Oh,
sculpt it to
nice.
look a certain way, or you could like set up a pattern and then put in this program and make it
Right.
below. You could do capes and stuff like that
That's
too.
cool.
And a
Yeah.
lot of stuff like Daniel Bell's been using it. He was the one that got Will
Yeah.
really turned on to it. And
Danny's great because he shames me into the future a lot because
he's a young
you're not doing it.
30-something,
I know.
and
and
you're
he's
like,
super talented and the sweetest guy in our industry. And he's like, "You're not doing that," and he'll look at me in this certain way,
And you're like,
"Oh
"Ooh,
God!" No,
and then Will says, "Do you know how old I am?"
I know. I can't keep starting over and learning this stuff. But no, Marvelous Designer is a fantastic thing that's really excited me lately. So yeah.
Nice. Did you guys see that Kevin Smith did an episode of Unboxing Toys this weekend for Sideshow statues? Didn't know that.
I didn't see that. He was
Yeah.
at
What did he unbox?
I was at PowerCon
Some-
a
it just
couple
said
weeks
Sideshow
ago.
statues. I don't know.
wow.
which
That's rad.
Dang.
It was
That's
rad being
cool.
at I was at PowerCon a couple weekends ago, which is like a He-Man She-Ra convention.
Yes.
It was down in Anaheim this year. It was pretty cool because he was a special guest there.
Oh,
And
was
they
he?
rarely get like huge, like they get a lot of
Yeah.
like
Oh, that's
the
cool.
voice
'Cause that's
actors
so
and the
niche.
actors from the movies.
Yeah.
Yeah. So they had him. They announced like he was going to be there, and they decided he was going to be doing a Q&A with like I forgot his name, the head guy of Mattel. But then it ended up being the special announcement for the Netflix cartoon show, the animated show that he's working on, which was like that was really
Yeah.
cool to have like
Yeah.
that big of an announcement at like a small convention.
Yeah, no
so
kidding.
Kevin Smith's been great to pop culture in general and making nerdy stuff cool and being
Oh, yeah.
overly
Yeah.
enthusiastic
Oh, sure.
about everything and
Totally.
just like a huge
Did you
supporter of it.
Did you meet Harley when she was here?
Mm-mm.
Super cool. I mean, she was
Yeah.
really neat. I was waiting to do my Sideshow live.
Like your section?
Yeah,
Yeah.
and got a chance to chat with her, and she's really sweet and super into this stuff. Really
Yeah.
cool person. I dug
Nice.
her.
Bunch of nerds.
Nerds. Question: what is your favorite Star Wars droid? I said it.
Oh man.
This- I mean, I'm always. It's always gonna be
R5D4
R2.
always yelled out to me. I don't know
Which
why.
one- which
'cause
one's that?
He's like the R2 with the different, like the cone head.
Oh, okay,
Everything was
okay,
Sliced
yeah,
off.
yeah.
I always like a IG-88 because he's a bounty hunter. I
Yeah,
always thought
he's
that
cool.
was cool.
The-
You know.
droid.
That scene kills me from.
Oh, The
from-
Mandalorian?
from
Yeah,
Mandalorian. I
dude.
love that. He's like,
Bam! I'm like, oh, they made him cool.
he looks like a dorky Tin Man, but then he's like, messing some stuff up.
I
That's
am
cool.
so that new trailer came out during D23 got me. That's exactly how I felt when I saw that first trailer for Rogue One. I was like, oh, this is
Yeah.
like Star Wars,
We watched it in his office on Friday, and I was like, whoa, yeah.
I'm always like, Will, come up here, we gotta talk. He's like, oh, fine, come up here. I'm like, blah, 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 we're talking work stuff. I'm like, you gotta watch the trailer. He's like, I gotta work, I'm never sculpting, I go to all these meetings, you want me to do this live thing next week? Lame, And then eventually, like, just sit here and watch this. And we played it, and we're both like,
Because he's got this big giant TV in
Nice.
his office. Yeah,
It's
so-
a meeting room.
Yeah.
It's not
Oh, yeah.
really
No,
my
no.
own. I think
Yeah.
it's fine,
Well,
but
well.
whatever. So we have a big screen in there just so we can like review
That's
stuff
awesome.
together or whatever. So
Mostly so you can watch cool trailers.
that
And
helps.
then also you can do reviews and things.
It's
Yeah.
our job.
Nice. Yeah.
We need to know
Research.
We have to stay up on top of pop culture.
That's right.
Yes.
We have- wait, what?
Pop culture.
Pop
Oh,
culture. Did I say
Stay
pop
on
culture?
top of. I thought you said something else. but
Okay.
It's all good.
Um,
Wasn't that bad?
Joe says the answer is Gonk. Everyone loves Gonk. Am I right?
Gonk's pretty cool.
Which one's
Derpy? He's a little like trash can with 2 legs.
Oh, I like the derpy ones. I have to say, like the scene inside the crawler thing with all the like
Yes.
really
Just
derpy
the
ones.
old ones
They're
that
so
are-
cute. I
they
don't know. That,
But
that-
was
they-
it Jabba's palace one that was upside down, kept getting his feet burned? It was
Yes.
like screaming. Yeah, that was pretty good too.
So
I haven't seen that
funny.
movie since I was in high school. The other
Which is
two I
a
love.
long
Yeah.
That is a long time ago. I mean, that's like,
Ah,
yeah. I loved the first two, and the third one, I wasn't the right age to appreciate it, I guess. Yeah.
That's a good, safe way of answering that one, Will.
Yeah.
I like that.
It was the Ewoks.
What's your favorite Batman costume? I'm kidding.
what was the question?
Star Wars droids.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I still haven't seen the
Yeah.
animated movie. I need to watch that one. Droids.
Yeah, some Force
Oh,
of Light
yeah.
said the trailer had really great cinematography too. The new
Oh,
trailer.
yeah, that's so key. I feel. I mean, obviously you want good story, but everything should feel like atmospheric, like you're there. You know?
That one was clearly very atmospheric, and I mean, I think I said to you, this has so much spaghetti western in it.
Yeah.
There's so much of that cool style
Nice.
that shows through. Yeah.
I didn't know for the longest time why they called it spaghetti western until like 5 years ago. Like, oh, it's because they filmed everything in Italy. I'm like,
It was derogatory
Durr.
term at the time,
Durr.
but they were making such
You just assume they're filming American westerns in America somewhere. There's plenty of desert, you know, but you just didn't really realize it until someone's like, dude, Italy.
Why did they film
what?
in Italy?
I don't know
Taxes?
exactly, but because they were Italian filmmakers.
Yeah,
and
that
there was
was-
great Italian filmmakers, have always been, but at that time in particular, there was such good filmmakers. And they saw this as an opportunity to tell very different kinds of stories. So they just used the genre, but that's why you look at The Good and the Bad and the Ugly, and you're like, some people just see Western.
Right.
They don't like Western, not my bag. Oh, that movie
But
is
the story.
so much more than a Western. It like
I think
Oh.
my favorite of the three is it Fistful of Dollars was the first one, right? And then A Few Dollars More was the second one, and then Good, Bad, and the Ugly.
I think so.
A Few Dollars More was my favorite of the three.
That's the middle one?
Yeah, that was my favorite. That's it. That's the end.
You're wrong.
Next question. It's all right.
The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly is incomparable. There's like, okay.
Fight,
This-
fight.
yeah, I
fight,
know, this
fight.
Dude, you are
That's
dead
a-
to me.
That's how we had a huge at our previous job. We had a huge debate over like Batman Begins versus The Dark Knight. I remember just like Batman Begins is my favorite of the Nolan trilogy, and that was at the time when there's only the two. And when The Dark Knight came out, I was like, it's so much better than Batman Begins. I'm like,
That's
Eh,
the, you
my
like the, you like
opinion.
the one with the ninjas, the
Yeah.
training in the beginning?
yeah. Everyone's like, we've had so many origin stories. I'm like, we've never gotten a Batman origin story on the big screen. Burton doesn't have an origin story. He's like already Batman. They have flashbacks. But whatever. Whatevs. Just we argue a lot.
Yeah.
A lot of people think we're like totally synced on our creative thoughts,
No,
and we
you are
totally
stupid.
disagree. Yeah, I'm a young dumb kid, and he's the seasoned veteran that's blown glass and thrown pottery.
JJ said my name is Nobody. He loves that Western. I don't know that
Do you know that one, Will?
I don't know that one either.
You're 80. You have to have seen them all by now. Like all of them.
They are
Like, on your
asking
list.
what I'm messing around to next to the computer. That reminds me, this is our prize today.
That's
Oh,
it.
for the best
What I was
question, right? Is that what we
yes,
do?
what
That's
I was
a
messing
crazy
around with
cool
is all
prize.
these little pieces that come with them that I
Yeah.
didn't have
Speaking
time
of
to put
favorite
on.
droids,
Yeah. Well,
Yeah,
you're not allowed
favorite
to
droid.
pick those.
This
You're not
one is
allowed to
my
pick these
favorite
two.
droid because he was my original first love of droids, and I love him, and I always will.
That's not
so
weird.
It's not. He is our prize today, and we are going to give him away to the best question or conversation starter that comes up. So we're going to keep going.
have
and
you been
then-
writing these down, Melanie? We haven't given you like any yet, huh? We haven't been like, that's a keeper.
She hasn't even been
Oh,
paying attention to
Jamie
the show, actually.
says you should try 2 Mules for Sister Sarah.
Very
it's
good.
a fun
Yeah,
one.
that's excellent.
Do you know
That's
that one?
excellent. Yeah,
Okay.
great
Whenever I think of
soundtrack,
mules,
too.
I think of Moscow Mules, but maybe that's a different thing. But yeah, we should try it. Watch that one
Probably.
with Moscow Mules.
I'm down with that.
Yeah.
Nice. Ooh, Karen
You can
says
drink out
she's
of a
still
cup-
waiting
cup.
for a Xena 1.6. That'd be cool.
We've talked about Xena before. I forgot what it was licensing wise. Fun story. My very first Comic Con ever was 2004. I came out right out of Colorado. In Colorado, at the time, there wasn't like an art scene at all. And went to Comic Con all by myself as a 21-year. No, I wasn't even 21. I was 20, and I didn't know anyone. I'm just going. I met a couple people.
That's
I
back
knew
when you
from
could
online.
do that.
Yeah.
Yes.
And yeah, that 2004 was still a time when you could go up Sunday and buy a ticket
Yeah.
that day,
And just
not
go.
Saturday, Friday.
Yeah.
But I remember I just thought I saw a really good Xena cosplay, so I went up to him like, "Can I get a photo with you?" And it was actually her. She's just like, and her security guard kind of pushed me back. She was super cool about it. She's like, "I'll be at this booth this time." So I'm like, "I am an idiot." But that was awesome. I just went up like tapped her.
Your
Like, "Can I get a
cosplay
photo?"
is so good.
Yeah, you're so good. You look just like her.
Here's like Xena
You look like
in
Lucy.
everyday
Yeah,
clothes.
That's
Oh,
awesome.
Yeah,
That's very good.
yeah. That was
Also,
fun.
back when that kind of stuff would happen, yeah.
And that was an awesome show. I loved watching that in Hercules back in the day. And that was like early Weta stuff before Lord of the
Yeah.
Rings. Yeah.
Yeah.
Best
Props to
Western
us.
movie is The Three Amigos. Joe says he would like to start a petition for Dusty Bottoms figure.
Oh wow, that's a fun one. I could watch
Yeah.
the crap out of that.
Yes.
I loved the Good, the Bad, and the Weird, which was an Eastern inspired Good, Bad, and the Ugly, and it's crazy and awesome.
Like with kung fu and stuff.
yeah, some of that.
Wow.
Yeah, it's really
Remember
cool,
that
but
one.
it's Western you know, they just
Yeah.
you know it's
That's cool.
it's
There-
awesome.
There's a lot of crossover between
Those genres.
those
Yeah.
genres, totally.
You know, a few dollars more, so the best.
Sweet Buttercup, yes. Did you guys hear that Joker received an 8-minute standing ovation? Looking
It's
forward
hard
to
when you
that.
think of like 8 minutes.
That's
I
a
wonder
long,
if that
long
who was
time. At
timing.
At some point, yeah.
Who
at
was
some
like,
point,
Let's
you
sit
you
here
don't
for
want to
8
be the guy who
minutes.
sits down, so
Yeah.
it just kind
Yes.
of comes in these
Oh, let's go.
waves. The people are kind of like, and then it starts back up
Like
again.
how
Yeah.
much of it was actual emotional enthusiasm?
I'm sure it was
and
great,
how
though.
much was just.
The-
I am super excited
I am
about it.
very excited about it.
I've been
Have you seen
jazzed about
the-
this since like day one when they I forgot who the original director was because it wasn't Todd Phillips originally, it was someone else. But I think when as soon as they announced Joaquin Phoenix was tagged for it, I was excited. I like that. I mean, I get like expanded universe, like the MCU and everything like that, but I thought one of DC's strengths was all the different visuals. Like you'd have the Chris Nolan Batman trilogy, and you can have the Tim Burton Batman 2-movie thing, and then the Joel Schumacher pseudo sequels or whatever. And they're 3 very distinct takes in the Snyder universe. And I was glad they weren't like, well, now we have to work in this box we made, and how do we make this work? It's like, no, let's just tell a Joker story
Yeah.
that's very different, very, you know, very very much unique. It sounds and very R-rated. And I don't think it has to be R to be good, but I like that they had that much more freedom.
Yeah.
I think that'll be really
I think
something to you know.
there has to be variety. I mean, some of the movies that really stand out to me. I mean, I love all the core movies, Avengers and
Yeah.
all that stuff. I mean, I love that stuff. But I mean, Logan was a
Yeah.
gas. That
Yeah.
thing was so cool and it was so
When
different
they do
than
a
others.
deep
And
dive on just
yeah,
one character
and,
like
I
that.
mean, forget about it. Deadpool. I love that movie. That was
Yeah.
a movie I'd been waiting for 20 years. It feels like, and you know, quite different than the others. But you know,
Why 20 years?
I don't know. Just
Because you got into comics when you were like in your 30s, or
oh my god.
Specifically, why? Why 20, not 22?
when I
guess
was
'cause I've been
30,
doing this-
What happened
When I'm my whole
exactly
life.
I've been doing this for
Yeah.
you know for about 20 years, I guess. Around.
There's an
around-
interesting question from back that I missed. Is there any food from sci-fi or fantasy that you would like to try? I know what I don't want to try.
Oh boy.
This is the blue milk.
No, man.
That's
Last
the
Jedi,
first
that was
thing that
pretty
popped into my head,
appetizing.
though.
Mine too.
I
The
wasn't
first
sure
one
do
was
I
like-
want that or not.
It's the
but,
first one that popped up,
Yeah.
but I don't want to try it.
I'd give it a whirl.
I was always very intrigued by Back to the Future too. The little pizzas you put in the thing, it
Shut
blows
up!
up.
I was
I'm
just
like,
thinking that. I'm like, maybe
I want
those-
to try it, but it seems like
those-
there's got to be something in it that's not good for you.
like shrinky dinks, but the opposite, but food.
Yeah.
You know, like it just.
I want to try expanding pizza. Just
Yeah.
you know,
Gobstopper.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
we
I
have
remember.
gobstoppers.
Or the ones that have
The real.
the
the
real ones.
meals, the ones that are
Yeah,
the
yeah.
meals.
Which one, Jeff?
That's not a gobstopper.
I think an everlasting gobstopper is the one that just lasts forever.
Oh, okay.
And
What's
the
the
other one
meal?
is
Yeah,
what's
that's kinda
it
what I was thinking of.
called? It had a name, but I don't know if it did have a name. It
I
was
just
the one
didn't
that
like the
was-
idea at all when it was like what turkey dinner and stuff. I was
Yeah.
like, don't mix those. Don't. That's like mixing Vegas and Comic Con. When they talk about San Diego Comic Con going to like Vegas, I'm like, you can't
Those
mix
are
those
two
I will-
totally different-
I will die if that happens.
I was gonna say once, maybe once.
Don't mix savory, Thanksgiving dinner and then sweet candy.
Yeah,
Just,
but some of the best desserts in the world are that when they sea salt caramel and stuff like that, man.
that's different than like. I think it's different.
And it doesn't all hit you at once. Didn't you ever watch that movie?
What movie?
Willy Wonka.
Oh,
No, I definitely
It-
saw that. Yeah.
Yeah, so it comes in stages. It doesn't like all just mash together.
Mash like that.
If you could be an extra on any fandom, what would you want to be in?
Oh man, like
you
a
just
background character or something.
Yeah,
like
you're just like an extra. You just get to be in that world.
one of my favorite
Does it
You
have
do
to be
Blade Runner
does it
for
have
you,
to
for
still
sure.
be
Blade
Runner would be
active?
cool.
Like, does it have to be current, or can it be something that's already?
No, anytime.
I mean, anything.
Oh, then mine's obvious.
What? What is it?
Buffy.
Buffy?
Buffyverse.
Oh.
I'd be in there. I'd be a vampire getting like staked.
I want to get murdered
I want
on
her to murder
screen.
me. It'd be so cool. Turn into dust. It'd
Oh,
be
that's awesome.
Yeah.
I didn't know that was
I'm
your
a
favorite.
huge,
Oh.
massive Buffy. Like I taught Buffy 101 classes. I
wow.
run
Whoa.
a Buffy blog. Oh yeah.
Did you ever
I
see-
was in discussion groups. It's a whole deep dive.
Oh no.
Did you ever see the I can't remember who made them, but they're the plushes of the vampires that like
The puppets.
yeah.
Yeah, I have them.
You should,
we.
have you,
So
have
do
you heard
we.
from Amy about her experience explaining to someone at the Comic-Con booth what Buffy was? It was Joss Whedon. If she didn't know it,
Shut
ask
up.
her about that.
I'm
It's a
going
great story.
to.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Oh wow.
Because she didn't know anything about it, so she was just like reciting the whole like, oh, there's a
And
premium
he's like, "You
format
don't
or whatever.
say, you
Yeah,
don't
he's like,
say."
oh, cool. She's like, would you like to know more?
That that movie that show was
That's awesome.
Maybe I wasn't supposed to say that.
really
Okay.
changed a lot. I mean,
That
that was
show-
early.
Yeah,
for-
that show has more like classes in college taught about that show than any other show ever. They talk about the mythology and about the psychology, and there's a whole
cool
forum.
female lead.
Yes.
I mean, like
there's
that's
a forum
early
that
for
happens every year in the UK somewhere where writers from all over the world present their papers, their academic papers about this topic, and it's like this
Too far.
massive thing.
Too far.
Yeah, it's amazing.
we could
It's amazing. I was the social media manager of WhedonCon, which is a special convention just for the Whedonverse. So like, it's a
Dude,
whole
shout
thing.
out to WhedonCon. Wow.
Yeah.
Is that still going on?
Yeah, yeah,
Heck yeah,
it's still
man.
going on.
Dude,
It's
that's
all
Like
fun.
right now,
at this moment. I gotta go.
it's one long party.
Yeah, it's
She's
every-
blowing it off to be here with us
Yeah,
today.
I want to say it's in June every year.
Oh.
But yeah,
Where?
it's deep dive in Los Angeles. And they get like a lot of not the main cast, although some of them have, like Spike goes every year. He was there. And
Whatever happened to Whedon after that?
he's working on right now he's working on HBO.
He's worked on a couple
Series.
small movies from
Yeah,
Marvel.
a couple things. No, he
big
disappeared.
deal.
But anyway, I could go on and on, so we're gonna like drop that.
I think one of my favorite movies visually and world building was Tron Legacy. The one that came out like 8 years ago. And I would have loved to have been one of those like Gladiator or whatever, like sports fights things where you get derez and you're just a bunch of digital cubes.
So
I
you
thought that
want to
was
get
awesome.
destroyed also.
Yeah, I thought that'd be if someone just spent that. Just think about it too. Like with that shot, that'd be
Yeah.
like someone had to go and CG your body and
Yeah, take
deconstruct
it
it.
all
Like that's
apart.
crazy, you know?
You should do that for Halloween. Not the deconstructed part, but why don't you be a glad?
Dude, I saw a guy do that. I can't do it. I have a dad bod. Wouldn't work out too good.
Works.
He'd be like, nice body, Dave.
We're gonna destroy that now.
Get your arms and your legs. Yeah, no, it just wouldn't
So
work.
what universe would you be in?
That's a lot. I mean,
Blade
that
Runner.
really, the universes are part of what attract me to a lot of these different things.
Yeah.
I mean, Alien is awesome,
Yeah.
and all the big genre movies. I love all that stuff. Yeah.
What's your one though, man?
one- if I
Stop
had-
it, God. I like them all. It's hard to say. You know.
That's okay.
What's your favorite Michael Bolton song?
How do you choose a favorite? I mean, they're all gold.
to walk down through the space station in 2001 would just be like a dream, man. That would be super
Yeah.
cool. But
Were there extras in that though that could do that?
yeah, there's people. Yeah, people in the back.
Okay, so we've got a bunch of people that are. Oh, the 3-course dinner chewing gum is what that was just called.
Yeah.
Okay.
No.
And then
No.
some of the answers were, I can't say rock Tagino for me, Klingon coffee, something in Star Trek.
That's not
Robert
food, though,
says
that's
he
a
wants
coffee.
to be in the MCU or Star Wars. Jonathan says the Fifth Element wins for instant food. Fifth Element, do you
I don't
remember?
Yeah, what was their
Instant
instant food though? Was it like at the beginning when he was like doing the vending machine thing or something?
It's either
I think
that. Remember when
Dude, I'm
like
due
the
for a
remember when like the
screening of that.
Chinese
That's an awesome
food
movie.
like truck like what thing would fly up to his window and he would order and then it would fly away. Remember?
Oh
been a long
yeah.
time.
Yeah.
So we just saw in our neighborhood where Kelly and I live. We found out this weekend. It was where My Name Is Earl. A lot of stuff was filmed like
Oh,
literally
really?
on our street. We're like,
That was a
what?
great
Oh,
show.
Yeah, and then
you know, I
our
can picture that.
and then our neighbors have a food truck, and they just like I don't know if it's new or whatever. And I'm gonna go over to their house and be like, I want some of your food truck. I don't know. It's just cool. So instant food. Just like if I have a
Nice.
food truck neighbor, that's pretty awesome.
That is pretty cool.
Okay,
Yeah.
then JJ has one for you. Then, if you can't narrow it down, what
Okay.
is one you would that you're a fan of that you would absolutely not want to be in?
Probably Alien because they all die. Unless you want to die
Yeah, I
like
mean,
us.
we
Like
will.
us
Yeah,
champs.
let's die.
Can you imagine getting eaten by an alien?
It could come out of your come out of your chest.
It could
That'd
be John
awesome.
Hurt.
I got a good one.
Yeah.
Oh, I got a good one.
Okay.
Now you're
Not
building up
not
too
for a
much.
bad one.
Oh, okay, for a good one.
Yeah.
Ah, Jesus.
Lord of the Rings, man.
Oh yeah.
How do you not?
Would you want to be one of the drunk dudes in the rainy village in the first one?
Bree?
Yeah, Bree. Yeah, would you want to be one of those guys like, "Ah, you're all hobbits, right?
Defending Helm's Deep or something, man?
Oh, that'd be
could
cool.
wear
Would you
some
be an
cool
elf
outfit.
though?
Nah.
Really? The elves are cool, man. They showed up.
Cool.
They partially saved the day.
Oh, I got a message.
They were a little aloof.
Got a message for you from X-Men Exclusives. Thank you for your work on Juggernaut, Rogue, and Gambit. They all came out awesome and can't wait to get them.
Heck yeah, thank you. That was a
That was
blast.
really nice.
I mean, that's dream come true stuff.
I don't like to brag, but I helped out in one really important part on Juggernaut.
He
and
did.
that was his
did.
armpit.
This brings us back. It's true.
Let's
this brings
talk about the Juggernaut.
this brings us
armpit.
back
Go.
to action figures.
Full circle, yeah.
For the first 20 years of my career, I never sculpted an armpit because that's where the ball joint goes.
Oh yeah.
Never
And
did.
Yeah.
so it's a weak
You didn't
spot.
have to.
Yeah. And
like, I
so,
don't know.
and his armpit is so prominent, it needed some love.
And it was so big too. And
Yeah,
it
that's
just
what
looked
I mean.
like he's kind of like.
we knew.
Like, and then there's this area, and
yeah.
then we're fine.
And it was it needed.
So that was
some
fun.
love.
Will's
I
been
agree.
very great about sharing the files. Like, all right, just you play around with it, show me what you think. I just open it for, and I do
You-
rough crude because I don't want
Yes,
to like.
but you don't have nearly enough time for how good you are at that. You can level up many projects, and you do it all the time,
Oh, thanks, man.
really quickly. But your schedule doesn't allow you to do it as much as we could
I
benefit.
think there's like key times.
yeah,
in
no,
it,
you
too.
do.
So,
You
like
jump in
every
when, it's,
part.
when there's an
That's-
emergency, like a juggernaut armpit.
I
You're
don't
like,
wanna
give me
be
that
like,
file.
You also don't want to be like the person that's overly involved and puts their fingerprints all over something. You want to like help
Yeah.
guide a project, and then just if there's something that's like really needs that help, like Juggernaut's armpit, that's fun.
Yeah.
The question was, Desiree would want to be a part of anything in Jim Henson. Yes. I think
Ooh,
you could
Dark
be a
Crystal.
Muppet.
Have you
could
seen
be a
that?
Muppet.
The new show?
I have not watched the new show yet because I
halfway through
loved
it.
Dark Crystal movies
Oh, you're
so
halfway
much
through?
that I'm
Oh.
kind of like saving it. 'Cause I want to watch
Kelly
the
and
movie
I
again
this
and
weekend
then
we watched episode 1 and we're so like, oh my god, we couldn't really pay attention to the story because we were
Yeah.
just looking at
At
everything.
You may have hit
Yeah.
upon the world that I would most like to not be in.
Oh yeah, that's a spooky world.
No,
it's
'cause
creepy.
I never got that. Dark Crystal. Sorry, for Dark Crystal fans out there,
It is dark.
never clicked with me. I'm like, this is puppets. What's the deal here?
Well, are you a fan of
That's the deal.
like
They're puppets.
that whole like the
He's
Muppets
a
and-
guy that lives in a
Jim
trash
Henson.
can. No one lives in a trash can that looks like that.
I grew up.
What's up with that?
I
A
grew
big
up on
bird?
Sesame Street. I mean, so, but
Okay,
like,
but the Muppets. Like, okay,
I watched him, but I was in high school by that point, or later. So
This-
I mean, I was like, that's
He
cute.
was too cool
But
for
then
it,
when
you
you
know?
get into like fuzzy stuff running through the woods and stuff like
Yeah.
that, I'm like, what
Like,
is
no.
going on here?
my kids and I this year, every year we do a marathon of Harry Potter movies. And it goes on for months. Like every other week we'll watch and do this whole thing. This year we're doing Muppets instead. I'm doing a deep dive. So we started with Sam and Friends, which was Jim Henson's first show when he was like 18, 19, 20. And like everything he did leading up. So we didn't even get to the Muppet Show, which was 1974. Until like we watched like 7 things before we got to that. Super nerd. You guys, there's a spreadsheet that I made to track what we needed to watch in what
dang.
order.
You know what?
So
I'm not that
deep
surprised when you
into
run
Muppets.
like Whedon Con.
Yeah, I don't just like, hey, let's watch the Muppets. It's let's watch everything that Jim Henson
know,
ever made in order.
So you know
that
what
he
we need
made
to
them.
do? We've talked to a company friend, personal friend too, Kirk Thatcher. He's
Mm-hmm.
worked for Henson's for a long time. He directed a couple of the movies
Have you
too.
met him?
Really? No.
He's awesome.
Oh,
we need to have him
wow.
on this
Super,
show
super
because
That'd
he's
be
just
awesome.
Yeah.
That would
Oh
be
my
so
gosh,
cool.
that'd
I'd
blow
love
your
it.
mind.
You
Yeah,
know what? You know
totally.
what's crazy about him? One of his first jobs, like right out of high school or early college, or I think he was like 19. He was gonna be the Rancor when it was gonna be a guy in a suit.
Shut up.
Yeah, so if you look up behind the scenes photos of
That's
like
so cool.
Rancor suit actor or whatever, that's Kirk, and he worked for Henson's for years. He's a great
Great friend
awesome
of the sideshow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we need to have him in. You need to meet him,
Oh,
and then
wow,
he can
yeah.
give you all this behind the scenes stuff too.
Matthew B says, if you could own or befriend any droid or robot in all of fiction, it would just be like your buddy, your sidekick. He'd work for you. Whatever.
Oh wow! If
all
Voltron the
of it.
robot didn't need 5 unique pilots, that'd be pretty awesome. To have like a space guardian with a fire sword, that
Mine
could
would be this
destroy
guy right here.
row beasts. I don't know, man.
That'd be cool. Any robot or any droid.
Although the Macross ship is a huge ship and it turns into a robot, so that's kind of a
Pretty
droid,
handy.
right?
That's what some of those are vehicles, kind of. No?
Just because you can get inside of them.
I don't know. You
That's
can.
what it makes it the difference between a robot and a vehicle. If I can get in you, then you're
Although
a
I
vehicle.
have to say, having R2 would be handy, like just in terms of,
Yeah.
especially this R2, he comes with a whole drink serving set, like at parties, you can serve
Yeah.
drinks.
How about let's go a little more recent? I'm gonna forget his name now. From Rogue One.
Oh, K2?
I love
Yeah.
that.
K2
I
is
love that.
great.
Yeah,
I would say
right?
he's one of the best in the last like 20 years.
Yeah.
Like droids ever. That was great.
Not to
Yeah.
shamelessly plug, but our figure of that thing
Yeah.
is awesome.
Aaron.
I know.
worked
I
on.
know. I love.
I
that
think
thing.
Jason Dawson, Desiree, and I would like to go talk about Muppets by ourselves for a while. But we're not going to derail the conversation because they have thoughts about the Muppets, and I'm right there with you. But we're going to move on.
Muppet Babies.
Oh,
Oh, okay. So you don't go that far. You draw a line.
No.
Oh, okay.
I mean, if they
Because
want-
there are people,
it's an animated thing.
and there are people who love Muppet Babies.
Yes, and maybe it's like a certain time, like when you watched it.
Yeah,
as
yeah,
a certain,
yeah.
but I'm not into it.
That's like
But-
a lot of people with Tiny Toons. Like I love Tiny Toons. A lot of people are like,
It's
"Ugh."
Tiny Toons.
It's like it was like one of Bruce Timm worked on it before the Batman animated stuff.
Oh, okay.
And,
And it was like
little kid
versions of, like,
Warner
Bugs
Brothers,
Bunny
like Bugs
and-
Bunny and all those guys.
Oh, that
Yeah.
seems cute. Oh, okay.
I thought it was awesome. But I was a kid when that came out, so
Yeah.
whatevs.
Um,
What droid would you most like to be if you were a droid?
K2SO is for Jonathan. Yep. The Black Lion from Voltron. Good one. That was one of the answers.
Well, he's not a droid though; he's a vehicle. But depends on what lore you look in, because they're also they also have like a consciousness, so they choose their driver. So it's like
they
it's a
could be-
symbiotic relationship. So
We're in
it's less
dangerous
of a vehicle.
territory here with Voltron.
Yeah,
But that'd
Is
be like
there-
saying that the Green Lantern power ring is a sentient being.
yeah, it is in a lot of ways, right?
It's a
It's
really
not at all.
I don't think so.
It's just
Jim.
charged. It just flies.
Yeah.
AI.
Yeah.
What makes it go to a person
I don't
then?
know what makes it work.
Like
It just-
Thor's
it-
hammer?
It just feeds on.
That's
it
magic.
just
You can't
finds
explain
willpower
it.
somehow.
No science.
Oh, I got a question here. Jamie says, "Is there a movie or cartoon from the 70s or 80s you'd like to see rebooted?"
Oh,
I got one.
so many. Go.
Jim and the Holograms.
Oh, you really need to talk to Kat.
Rockstar and superheroes, and there was a girl band that was also the bad guy girl band, and they would
Kat has pitched Gem and the Holograms for us to do figures
Really?
for every time.
Can I
that
stand with her
it's-
next time and just go, yeah, what she said, because they're awesome, and I will buy one.
She.
That's
yeah.
one.
Then they'll be like, cool.
That's one sale. Sweet.
I could probably sell at least 2 or 3 more.
If you're of a certain age, I could think that
I'm
really
down.
talks to you.
What would be your 70s or 80s cartoon, or were you too adult back then?
No.
He was in his 90s back then, so.
I grew up. I really, really loved Speed Racer.
Ah!
Back in the
Oh,
original.
yeah.
I really liked that.
What'd you think of the movie, Wachowski's movie?
I loved it.
I love that movie. A lot of people just don't
It
like
was
it.
different.
You're
Yeah, I mean,
crazy.
I dug it.
Love that movie. That would be another good one to be an extra in. I would love to be like a weird, like one of the Cannonball guys or Cannonball Run guys or something. I don't know.
Yeah,
Anyways.
I'm not so precious about the stuff that I love. I like to see different versions of it, and so that was definitely not the Speed Racer I grew up with, but it was
I
cool.
still like seeing that. There's a whole controversy because they're going to make a new Buffy. People are all upset because they're going to make a modern version of Buffy.
But it
I'm the
doesn't
same way.
change
It's
your
like,
Buffy.
it doesn't disappear.
Yeah.
I
And also
totally
it brings
agree.
that concept to a new generation in a way that they can relate to it. I think it's great.
Yeah.
Do it.
You're a healthy fan.
I am.
Look at you.
I am.
That's how I roll.
Until
too.
it comes out, she's
Yeah.
like, "Oh, God,
They should
did you see what they did with?"
Are you
Lame.
kidding me?
Not my Buffy
My childhood is
hashtag.
ruined.
Hashtag not my Buffy. But Whedon likes it. Oh, now I love it. Right?
That's totally
Just
me.
kidding. Now
Yeah.
you really changed my
What
perspective.
is yours?
So I'm an '80s kid. So He-Man is like my Master
Oh,
Universe. That whole
yeah.
world is just like everything. It's fantasy. It's sci-fi.
Yeah.
It's like magic versus tech, strength versus brains. All that like weird
it.
monsters. Like, man, I'm optimistically excited about the live action movie. I'm super stoked about the new cartoon show, and I think that's one
Live
that's just like
action is gonna be tough.
it's totally doable. I think
Yeah.
people just and I get it, and not to say like making a movie's easy, because we know how hard it is to make a statue
I know.
here. One statue,
know.
how many people have to prove it? So I only know like the infinite amounts of people with opinions that have to like chime in about the script and the acting.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
I can
yeah.
just only like how you get a movie that totally sucks but still gets made is probably a miracle in its own. Let
Yeah.
alone like if it's okay or
Yeah.
great, then you're like, how did that happen? Like, it must have been an accident kind of a thing. So I think in a best case scenario, there's a great live action adaptation for He-Man to be had.
There's
And
some
I should be
There's a
Yeah.
kitschness to it that's hard. That would be hard to
capture.
deal with or ignore.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You either got to go for it, and then you got like a '60s Batman deal,
Yeah.
or
Or-
you're ignoring it, and then
Or it's like
that's
Austin
weird.
Powers. And
No,
you
I
just
think-
lean into
yeah,
it.
that's
and
what I
you
mean.
just
You
go
could- yeah.
crazy.
No, I think I think it's kind of like how you could have different versions of Batman. You can have the original cartoon, even like the
True.
cartoon to comic to toy. Like
It
all
would be
three
cool to
mermans
see-
look totally different.
To
you know?
see the whole He-Man story told from like a serious,
Yeah.
sincere, dark point of view.
Yeah,
it would
that's
be cool.
what I want to see. I want to see like
His
I'd be
name
into
is
that.
He-Man.
He's Adam, Prince of Eternia, and
Well-
this
But
is
I'm just
Cringer.
saying, his name is He-Man.
Fearless.
So
It's
it
hard to
depends,
get
though.
rid of-
Yes.
It's hard to
You
get
just
rid of the
have to lean
kitschiness.
into
I know, that's doable though, man. Lots of
Trap
Buffy?
jaw. What-
Buffy.
Merman.
Yeah, it's fine. That's
Yeah,
cool,
go
man.
with it.
You know,
Okay.
it's you can make it work.
Yeah,
you know, there's a
it's-
suspension of disbelief for certain things. Sometimes you just
You
gotta
gotta
own
deal
a name.
with that with Buffy the Vampire Slayer. It's, but they acknowledge it, like Buffy, really?
They owned that.
Yeah.
They totally.
You just go
yeah,
with it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You just go with it.
But that's okay.
There are some cool answers in here to some of our things. Tiny Toons, yes. Muppet Babies, not so much. Desiree, you are correct. Number 5 from Short Circuit would be somebody's go-to.
The original
Yeah,
Wall-E.
that's a good one.
Before Wall-E.
Joe says, my Roomba broke free and was lost in the house for a few days. I don't know what it was doing or what its new mission is, but I refuse to recharge its battery. Like, where'd you go?
It came back with a bunch of weird travel stamps
Yep.
on it.
Didn't they make a bad movie of Gem and the Holograms? No. That didn't
You're just
exist.
not. You're just
That didn't
ignoring that
exist.
thing even
Yes.
happened.
The rings choose their wearer.
Yeah,
that from?
that's from Green Lantern. What we're
Oh,
talking about.
gotcha.
Yeah, so that's why if they choose, they have to be
Yeah.
sentient beings, Jeff.
No, they don't.
Uh,
they could just be drawn to pure willpower.
Like a magnet.
Yes.
A ro-
I just
somebody
proved
wants to
myself
know,
wrong.
Are robots and droids the same thing or totally different things?
Or what?
Robots and droids.
I don't
That's
know.
what.
When I think of droid, I think of like there's like going back to the sentient being, like they have their
Yeah.
own brain. I think of robot as something that has to be operated or programmed, and a
Like a
vehicle has to be
Roomba.
driven. Yeah.
Like a
So I
Roomba.
think that to me would be where kind of like
Interesting.
when people say monsters and creatures are the same thing. I think creatures are more like they could be a naturally evolved thing versus monsters like Frankenstein's a monster that had to be created.
Yeah.
You know. My
JJ answer
laptop
was the
died.
Mighty Orbots and Mask.
Mm.
Would be Mask.
Dude, I forgot if Street Sharks was late 80s or early 90s. Street Sharks was another one that I thought, I just
Nice.
love sharks. It's like a bunch of shark head dudes running around. They're all jacked.
Man.
Yeah.
Oh no, JJ, he destroyed his Mask toys with firecrackers when he was a teenager.
That's what you do when you're, as a teenager? Wow.
Let's see.
These things aren't get me chicks. I'll show them. Blow them up with firecrackers.
I'm not asking that question, Batman statue collector. He's hoping me I'll prod you for some spoilers. No.
What was the question, though?
He wants to know what the next Batman villain.
He says, I'm
Figure
sure
is
you
gonna
won't
be.
get in trouble.
Were they not satisfied with the Scarecrow and Mr. Freeze? We had a huge debate internally too. Even though his name is Mr. Freeze, he's technically a doctor. So why they never call him Doctor Freeze?
Maybe it's
you know?
Dr. Mr. Freeze. Or
That's
Mr.
why he's
Dr.
so
Freeze.
angry.
Yeah.
Yes.
Not
I
his
did
wife.
not go to medical
Yeah.
school for 8
Come on,
years.
PhD,
to be
bros.
called Mr.
And my wife's dead.
What? Oh my gosh. Andrew wants to know, what color glow will the Sideshow S logo stop at when they finish the stream? He's guessing blue. Any bets?
What colors does it go
This
through?
S
I don't even pay
changes.
attention to it.
It cycles through.
What to
Okay.
what though? What colors?
There's blue, purple, green. I want
Hope
to say
it's-
pink, purple.
I like,
Kind of takes its time.
Yeah,
okay, there
it
we go. Now we're
fades.
getting into.
So let's just watch this the rest of the show.
I'm just gonna look at it like I'm on screen.
Okay, Jamie says Droid is trademarked by Lucasfilm. Motorola had to license it for its phones back years ago.
I knew that.
Interesting.
I
I
did
did
know
not
I didn't know that.
Even though it's short for Android. I mean,
Interesting.
But-
Hey guys,
Yeah.
you have 5 minutes.
Oh, to give away our to give away our prize.
You can give away a
Um,
question too if you like.
Gina has a question. Will, after spending an entire week working, what other personal projects do you partake in to get a break or escape from sculpting?
Oh boy, I can answer this for you right now.
Go ahead.
Pottery?
He goes home and your recent thing has been, he's like, I'm like, what'd you do this weekend? We had a 3-day weekend. He's like, I spent all weekend going through all my old render, because he's been trying to learn new rendering techniques for his digital models, because he wants to update ArtStation for like a big art dump of all of his projects. And he basically has been working this for 6 months?
Yeah.
And he has deleted them all this weekend to redo them all. So
So my hobby is
Working on things. To show
my
off
job
your
is my
work.
hobby.
Your hobby is prepping for work.
Basically, yeah. Oh, I mean, my wife, Kat Cepene, is the head painter here. This is our life,
So when you guys aren't at work, you're just at home
Yeah.
working.
basically.
One fun thing we did years ago was we did a Lord of the Rings screening in one day, and we were talking about doing that again sometime recently, and that was like extended first to. I don't know if we did extended return. Did we? 'Cause I don't like the extended return. I like the regular return. I feel like extended, like the Mouth of Sauron scene, was like weird. I don't know. We definitely watched extended first, so
Yeah.
I just forgot the third one was extended or not.
We were
That
so
was all
we
day,
were,
man.
oh my
It
god,
was-
we were crippled by the end of that thing. It was just like that's a lot of stuff.
It's great. We should do it again. It's fun.
So
Once a decade.
do we have a favorite topic or question that came up today?
There's a lot of droid talk. I feel like we're giving away a droid, so it
Yeah,
makes
that kind of-
sense, you know.
yeah.
But how would you narrow that one down?
There was it was
Yeah,
there's the
it
three
started off-
questions. It's who was your favorite one from
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Star Wars? What was your favorite one overall?
And which one would you want to have? Do you think that's the same as your favorite? I think it's different.
I think it's different. What was your favorite? Which one did Will actually give an answer to? Because I feel like he didn't really answer any of them.
I also like the what.
Because we get to make that the
what-
best one.
I
Because
also
it
liked what
drew an
fandom
answer out
would
of
you
Will.
want to be in? Like.
Oh,
one?
background
That was a good
character.
one.
That was fun,
Which-
like the extra
that was a
one.
good-
That's a question that stuck with me. I think that's a
Yeah.
neat question.
Boom, there you go.
Okay,
Stuck
we
with
had our
Will.
private sidebar that no one heard, and that's what we went up with. So.
Yeah, we're not biased
But
at all.
we don't know who asked that question. You know
Melanie
what?
can go look it
Dang
up.
How do we not know?
Because you
Right?
can only go back. Oh,
Because
so
Melanie's
far.
useless.
Yeah.
That's why.
I mean,
Let me
her
see,
words,
but maybe I can
yes.
find it. Maybe I can find it. You guys riff. Ready? Go.
Well, and somebody remind us.
yeah.
Who said that?
So,
Who said what fandom would you want to be an extra in?
They're gonna get
Oh,
like
yeah,
everyone.
I'll
I
find
did.
it. I'm gonna find it because it's all the
Me.
way back to the beginning. Are you gonna find it, Mel? Who's gonna find it first? Mel's on it. If you
How
can
do you
revisit
know?
any piece, technology. Okay.
Oh, we're getting
Wow.
close. Yeah,
Oh.
this is.
Oh.
Oh.
Like this is part of the show. Is this rolling?
riveting
Isn't
show
this
right now.
amazing, you
Yeah.
guys?
I'm not partaking in
Any
this.
food
I don't
from
approve.
sci-fi or
You'd blew
fantasy
up.
you'd want
It
to try?
died. It just took too much battery to
Talked
stay
about
open. Whatever.
westerns. If you could befriend any droid, okay, we're getting there.
Oh, so you can
We're
find
getting
it.
there. This is fascinating
Will,
television.
who's your favorite Batman?
Yes, got back.
We talked about this before.
What Batman suit would you wear? Oh, yeah, okay, good. Yeah, no. That's it. You have an answer.
It took a while to come up with the answer, but I remembered how much Frank Miller Batman affected me when I read that stuff.
Blew your mind.
I had actually been away from comic books for a long time. I did that thing that a lot of people
It was
my age probably.
Jason Dawson.
I found it. No, I typed it. See, it was me. I found it.
She beat you.
Oh.
No, because I found it first and typed it. Jason Dawson.
Melanie, I'm on your side on this one.
Look, timestamp. It's right there.
You know what? I'm gonna be okay.
You sure?
Yeah, Autumn can have this one.
Wow, it's very.
I get so little. Jason Dawson, congratulations.
That's
you
a
get to
heck of
take
a-
home
that's
this
a heck of
very
a-
cool R2D2
Yeah.
Deluxe. He comes with all kinds of accessories, including he gets to be a little mini bar and drive around and give people their drinks.
Oh, we
So-
get the mini bar with it too.
Yeah, it gets the
That's
whole deluxe
super
set.
cool, man.
It's very cool. It comes with a ton of accessories. So, Jason Dawson, I think you know the drill. You're going to email me at social@sideshow.com. You're going to put your name, your address, your phone number, and the prize that you won.
Has he won before? Is that why he would know? Or
I know
he's-
that name as he's won something before.
Whoa.
But that's okay.
That's why he
He earned
joins in
it.
every week. He
Yeah,
doesn't care what
it's
Will
like,
has
I
to say
gotta come
about
up with a good
blowing
question.
glass. He just wants
Yeah.
to know about, can I get this figure?
I would tune in for that. That thing's awesome.
It is very cool. All right, guys. That's it. You made it. We did it.
I survived.
We
You survived.
we made a
So
show,
proud
you
of you.
guys. Very
You
proud
survived
of
your
you.
first Sideshow Live / show
Yeah.
and tell.
And now at the end of the show, we always give out your home address. They can come follow up questions if they want to chat with you more. So we'll have that scrolling on the bottom of the screen.
He always puts himself out there though, right before Comic-Con. I mean, I think we should do a live something with him before Comic-Con because he talks about like,
There you
find
go.
me at the booth
Yeah,
and harass me
totally.
on questions because
Yes. Are you going to New York Comic Con?
No,
No.
Are you going to?
I would die
No.
to. I'd love to go.
they
not
really
invited.
bring a skeleton crew for that
I'm
one.
going this year.
You know?
First time I've never been.
Oh,
Well,
Well, she thinks she's going.
do you like beer? Oh,
much
okay.
of a
Otherwise,
beer?
I would tell you. Okay. Otherwise, I would tell you where.
I mean, I'll get some and bring it home to you if you want.
No. I was gonna.
be weird.
There's some great places to go in New York.
oh really? For beer? In New York? Crazy. You want some pizza? New York has pizza.
Everybody's shouting out what color they think the show is going to end on. I feel like we should strategically end it on a color that no one's
Purple.
chosen.
I want purple or pink.
Yes.
It cycles pretty slow that we could
It
be here.
does,
And
it
this
does.
one is different than this one.
Yeah,
Yes,
Melanie
this is
said
about-
5
this is
minutes
about
like
20
28
seconds
minutes ago.
behind
I know.
I can
that
math
one.
it real good.
Yes.
And we're way over budget. This is why we can't have anything nice here.
Well, it's been
All right.
6 minutes since I said 5
So we're a
minutes.
minute over.
Okay, so we are a minute over. So
Good
we
job,
are going to
team.
go. Guys, thank you so much for joining us. Tomorrow is going to be the actual Sideshow Live. This was not Sideshow Live, it was Sideshow and Tell.
Who's going to be on that? What's
Who's
that?
going to be on tomorrow, Mel?
People.
Cool. Thanks, Mel.
Stay
Tune
tuned. Yeah.
We have a
Can't
very
wait.
fun guest.
Oh,
coming
yeah.
on to talk about our She-Hulk statue.
Yes, we do.
Oh, we do. That's right.
We're gonna
Is
be
it
talking-
Audie Granoff?
It is not.
It's not.
Is it Steve Schumacher?
It is not.
More fun than that.
Is it
More,
one
it's
of
a
the?
more rare sighting than that.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
It'll be a good time.
Yep.
This
Sweet.
this guest and our host will have a lovely time talking about She-Hulk, and I would recommend tuning in.
So check tomorrow at 11 a.m. Pacific for that. And then, aren't we going live again this week sometime? For a brand
We
new show?
I don't know.
It's like his.
That's going to be tomorrow at 2
Playing
p.m.
on
We are going to be taking an up close and personal and live interactive look at the Stanley astronaut. What's the official name of it? Guardians of the
Guardians
Galaxy.
2, wasn't it? Was it
Stan
Guardians 2?
Lee 6 scale from Hot Toys.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, we're going to be unboxing it, posing it, taking a look at it, answering your questions live. It's going to be pretty cool.
We should
That's
call.
going to be 2 p.m. tomorrow Pacific time.
We should call this one like part 1 of the Will Chronicles because this
Yeah.
guy has a whole nother
There's
story
a
about
whole bunch of
spacesuits and
stories.
SpaceX and his
Oh my
love for
gosh.
Elon
When-
Musk.
Next time he comes
Oh,
back,
no.
we're going to continue
I'm
all
just
of these
gonna-
great
I can
stories.
I can pull all these out of him. There's so much more.
You guys, they are dying of torture waiting for us to end the show that's going to end on the color that they've chosen.
That's
Yeah,
Whatever.
Andrew says,
Whatevs,
oh my God,
man.
it's killing me. So we'll just sit here and stare at the camera.
you guys can just hit
This is like
end
an
whenever
Andy
you're
Warhol
ready,
movie?
depending on
Yes.
who you like the most.
Yeah. All right, guys, thanks for joining us. We'll see you tomorrow. And don't forget to let your geek side show.
The geek show side.
That stuff that I just said. And.